Oi mate, you got the license for watching that, right? Okay, but what's going on? Twitter is full of people wanting to censor others, we got the recent adult content bans on Steam, and let's not even talk about the shit show in the UK. Or, well, actually that's precisely what we'll talk about, would be a pretty pointless video otherwise, and it's starting to affect me, so them, this is war. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's quickly talk about the Steam adult games ban before the UK, and for those of you who have been living under a rock, here is the context. Steam has been pressured by their payment processors and banks to remove games that upset their guidelines. The issue with this is of course not that I can no longer buy interactive sex, daddy twins, incest, BDSM. As much of a degen as I might be, I'm actually not interested in that game specifically. The issue is that the ban is subjective. It's based on subjective values, and subjectivity is a loose thing decided by who? I think we all need to take a step back and ask ourselves what type of discourse has been going on for the last couple of years. Well, let's just say today they go after the extremes, but who's to say that tomorrow they go after the regular adult games? After all, I have a hard time thinking they want to be associated with those. And who is to say they stop there? Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Mass Effect all have sex scenes, and to line up with my usual content, because the reason I'm making this is both that I think it's wrong and that I'm scared they will go after anime next, because countless visual novels and anime games with fan service could be affected if they stretch these bans far enough. Hell, if we talk about fan service, even Marvel Rivals that I used as a B-roll for this video is in danger. And I know what you're thinking, don't judge me for my skins, I know you want them as well. Anyways, as much as I don't like the idea of daddy twins incest BDSM game, who am I to say that those who enjoy it shouldn't be allowed to play it? And once again, I do think we have to keep in mind these decisions don't stem from nothing. We have had a very loud vocal minority shouting about these things, to a certain degree pretty dishonestly, for the last 10 years. How else do you think games like Dustborn and Concord are made, or how localization like this exists? Of course, on the other side you have people saying Cyberpunk and Baldur's Gate are trash for allowing you an LGBTQ romance option. To say their pro-censorship attitude doesn't play a factor would be insane, and I think it's important as we keep this discourse going that we take our own individual responsibility in voicing our own opinions about these topics, especially when crazy left/right-wing extremists shout about them. And to follow my own advice, here is my opinion. Art is subjective, games are art, and anime is very much art. I love art. It makes me feel things I didn't think possible. It impacts me greatly, and anime has no understatement changed my life for the better. Except for my wallet maybe. The point I'm making is if there's no objective scientific reason for banning something, then we shouldn't, because we risk robbing someone of an experience like that. For me, Evangelion and Fate have both been shows that have taught me things about life, and to be honest, if you just really enjoy something, it doesn't even have to be that deep. Who am I to judge? I mean, a vast majority of the adult population watch porn, so if you play these games, don't worry, I don't kink shame on this channel, but the UK certainly does. Okay, so finally, the new UK law, and let's start with a little disclaimer since I saw this argument being thrown around online. I think we can all agree on that protecting children is good. Yeah, I said it. I don't think 12-year-olds should goon to femboy anal compilations for 10 hours a day. And how did I ever think this video would be monetized? Anyways, the issue is how it's implemented. Let me ask you for service. Could you write your full personal information together with all your kinks and sexual interests down below in the comments? What? You don't want to do that? It's almost like people find this shit pretty private. Well, that's the issue with this law. It's not about the principle of protecting kids, it's that there is no good system for doing so. Even though I must say I do find it pretty funny with all the workarounds being created, and that's without even going into the actual security aspects of it. In general, as someone who works in IT, my advice to people is to limit information you have online about yourself as much as possible. Now, there was a petition being signed about it, but sadly the UK doubled down saying, "Nah mate, was paid running dystopia at any percentage, right?" And honestly, the most annoying part of it is that some of us in the EU, which the UK made very clear they didn't want to be a part of, are being hit by the crossfire. It proves that websites like X don't have the resources available to implement this correctly. Also, just like with the previous point, who's to say what's appropriate for kids to interact with and not? Let's say for an example politics. Maybe certain far right and left politics shouldn't be accessible to kids. Well, the way it's currently implemented means that regular people could get blocked access to this. In fact, I don't know what I can't see because, well, I can't see it, clues in the name, but this doesn't seem like a porn post to me, so you tell me how this is not the first step towards cyber dystopia. Now damn, I really didn't think Shimonetta would become reality in my lifespan, but here we are. It's also the reason I use so much Marvel Rivals B-roll for this topic, unlike my usually more edited videos, because apart from that anime, what even comes close to the state we're in? And quite frankly, I wanted to get this done during my vacation. I'm going back to work now and my time will be limited. I don't know if I'm gonna start doing longer form again, as I do find them more rewarding, or if I'm going back to shorts. What I do know is that if you want to find out, make sure to subscribe, and if you want more videos like this, I think this will suit your taste. With that said, take care, bye!